Good morning. Myself, Adira S., Assistant Professor in the Department of Information Technology, Hindustan College of Engineering Technology. Here we are going to another topic in programming using C, and the contents include introduction to function in C and function declaration, function definition, function call, function prototype, parameters and arguments used in function, and function argument and return type, and types of function. So basically, we are just going to know what is function in C. Introduction to function, that is, function is the basic building block of C program, which is provide modularity and code reusability. That is, it just a set of statement which is performed whenever we just called for some specific task, and the function is enclosed with braces, curly braces, and performing certain operation whenever the function is called is the actual definition of a function. And the syntax for function is mainly include function declaration, function definition, and function call. And function declaration, we already know the difference between declaration and initialization. That is, declaration means we are just assigning or we are just giving a name for a function or something, and initialization means we are just assigning some values. So in declaration, we have the syntax, that is return type, that is the data type we are going to declare our function, and name of the function, and the parameter we are just used in this function. Example is given: int is the data type, and sum is the function name, and int a and int b is the parameter I'm just used here, and int is the data type used for the parameters. Next one is function definition, which means the function initialization. That is, we are just going to assign some value or assigning some function body. It is called function definition. The syntax is return type, function name, parameter 1, parameter 2, etc., with parameter type. That is function declaration, and I'm just assigning some body, that is some operations inside that function. And here I'm giving some pictorial representation for that function definition. That is, I have a function named heading, and I'm not having any parameters, so just I mentioned void and some statement and return. That is what the structure of function definition. Next one is function call. Function call is nothing but we are just calling the operation or calling the function to done a specific operation that we are declared in function initially. A function call is a statement that instructs the compiler to execute the function. We use the function name and parameter in a function call. We are just using function name and parameter in function call. This is the working of a function with an example. That is, initially I'm just having my standard library function stdio.h, that is standard input output header file to access printf and scanf functions. And next, in next line, I'm just having my function definition, that is int sum of int a comma int b. That is, I'm just having a function sum with data type int, and my parameters are a and b. And inside that function, I'm just assigning an operation a plus b. That is, I'm going to add a with b. Next, I'm going to initialize my main function. Inside that main function, I'm having integer data type to assign a value to a variable add. Add is my variable, and I'm assigning a value to that variable add, like sum of 10 comma 30. That is, sum is my function name, right? So sum of 10 comma 30 means I'm just calling the already defined function sum with the arguments 10 and 30. That means the 10 is the value which is assigned to the parameter a, and 30 is the value which I am going to assign to the parameter b. So finally I'm going to print. So the parameters are assigned with the arguments 10 and 30. So the output of this program is 10 plus 30, a plus b, right? So 10 plus 30 is 40. So finally I'll get the output as sum is 40. Okay,
Whenever the function is called, then only the function will be executed. That is, if we are defined a function, definitely it is not going to done anything in your program. So whenever you just call that function, then only the function is going to work. Next one is function prototype. Function prototype is nothing that we need to declare something, right? We are already declared or initialized something. It is also called function prototype. It The function in C can be called either with argument or without argument. We can pass any argument. In previous example, we just pass some arguments like 10, 30, like, right? It is called argument. In C function, we can call a function with argument or without argument. Okay, maybe it just return a value, or either it may be not return any value. So all C functions can be called either with arguments or without arguments. If you are giving an argument, maybe it just give an output, or else it don't. And also, if you are function is, if you are going to call a function without argument, it also return some value, or maybe not. So it depending upon your function. So all C functions can be called either with argument or without argument. And this is the difference between parameters and arguments. Parameter is nothing but we are just declaring the values when the function is declared. Okay. Like if I'm in previous example, we are just shown, right, int sum of int a comma int b, and a and b are called parameters, and the argument is nothing that whenever you are just going to call a function, you are using some values there, right, for the initialized parameters. That values are called arguments. That is, in previous example, we are already know that 10 comma 30, right? The 10, 30 are arguments, and a and b are parameters. This is the difference between parameters and arguments. I'm just given an example here. Int call of int rnum. Rnum is parameter. Here I'm just declaring a function with parameter, and whenever you are just calling that function, at that time you are just having some variables or values, it is called arguments. Okay. And argument is also called actual parameter, and parameter is called formal parameter. Okay, it is also called formal parameter. Parameter is also called formal parameter, and argument is also called actual parameters. Parameter passing. Parameter passing is nothing but is whenever you are calling a function, you have actual parameter, right? And that actual parameter is assigned to the formal parameter. Here in this example, 10 and 30 is assigned to a and b. So that is called parameter passing. We can pass the parameter or argument using two ways, that is pass by value or pass by reference. In previous example, we already assigned or passed arguments as values. 10 and 30 are values, right? So we can assign directly the values to that parameters, or else you can assign some pointer or location that values are stored. Either you can directly give the values to that parameter, or else you can give the pointer or the location where the values are stored. You can pass that references. These are the two methods that we can pass arguments, pass by value and pass by reference. Next one is function argument. Function arguments are the data that is passed to a function. That is, the values we are passed to a function is called function argument. And function return type, we already know that whenever a function is called, it should return some value. Maybe it won't, it not, and they may or may not return value to a calling function, right? So there are different types, that is function with no argument and no return value, function with no argument and with return value, function with argument and with no return value, function with argument and with return value. These are the conditions may occur when a return type is in function. And types of function, mainly we have user defined function and library function. Library function is nothing but built-in function already, which is inside the compiler, and user defined function, the function which is defined by the user. And library function I already told you that, right? It is referred to as built-in function, which is already exists in compiler as a package. For example, POW. POW is a power, and SQRT is used for find the square root, and strcmp is a string compare function, strcpy is string copy function, which is already exists as a package in compiler. And user defined function is, it is a powerful feature of C programming language that allows user to define their own function to perform a specific task. For example, we can create our own function using our own function name and the parameters whatever we need. That is what user defined function. So this is what the brief explanation about functions used in C program, and hope you are all understood. Thank you.